Hey everyone, Coach Investor back to another video for today. So in today's video, we're going to talk about some announcements that were made from Nvidia and Intel at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, or CES. As always, huge announcements are being made in that event. Maybe some of you were attending or are attending because, well, it is still ongoing. But in this video, I'm going to focus on a couple of things that Nvidia announced. Some of you might have guessed, more focused on the Omniverse part of the business, also on the auto part, and then at the end of this video, a bit focused on Intel and their big announcement as well. So if you're interested in that, sit back and relax. I would really appreciate a thumbs up, would help with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. And if you want to support me and this channel, do check out the link down in the description and the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to full.com/couchinvestor and make sure to check out all the other links in the pinned comment, some of which might actually save you some money. So topic number one I want to touch on is that, well, Nvidia GeForce Now streams vast library of AAA games to cars. We've seen this with Tesla not so long ago, where Steam was available in the car, so you can play games like Cyberpunk inside of your car. Now with Nvidia GeForce Now, of course, when you talk about GeForce Now, you have to think about cloud gaming and, well, the revolution in the gaming space. In the future, you won't really need a physical console. It will all be able to play on the cloud. So they say here that the high-performance cloud gaming service will be coming to cars. Hyundai Motor Group, one of the world's largest automakers, with the Hyundai, Kia and Genesis brands, BYD, the world's leading manufacturer of new electric vehicles, and Swedish premium electric vehicle and lifestyle brand Polestars. By the way, Polestar, amazing cars. Those brands are the first working with Nvidia to deliver GeForce Now in their vehicles. Now with electric cars, with the probable robotaxi in the future, entertainment inside of your car is going to be a huge aspect of whether or not you would like to buy a car. Because if one car does offer, let's say, GeForce Now or Steam and the other does not, if robotaxi really does become a thing, you would obviously choose the car with entertainment and not the one that does not offer that. Next up, and that's a big one, and that's the announcement that Foxconn partners with Nvidia to build automated electric vehicles. So you probably heard about Foxconn when we talk about Apple, but some rumors were coming out a couple of months ago that, well, Foxconn was interested in building EVs or autonomous vehicles. So as part of the agreement, Foxconn will be a tier 1 manufacturer producing electronic control units based on Nvidia Drive Orin for the global automotive market. Foxconn manufacture EVs will feature Drive Orin ECUs and Drive Hypersense sensors for highly automated driving capabilities. Then the vice president of automotive at Nvidia said that their partnership with Foxconn will provide OEMs developing intelligent driving solutions with a world-class supplier that can scale for volume manufacturing of the Nvidia Drive Orin platform. Foxconn's decision to also use the Drive Hypersense sensor suite for its EVs will help accelerate their path to production without compromising safety, reliability, or quality. Then, of course, when it comes to the automotive part of the business, we can see here auto, it has actually been growing in the last couple of quarters. That was not the case when it comes to gaming or professional visualization. So after all of this partnership, you might start to think, it makes sense that they are making some moves in this segment, and might also say that maybe next quarter this will continue to grow, which goes into the next announcement, so the intelligent design part. So Nvidia Drive revolutionizes vehicle interior experiences. Basically, as we've seen also with Omniverse and the digital twin, same thing can be implemented right here. So Nvidia Drive 9 and Drive Sim now enable end-to-end digital twins and workflow from vehicle design to retail. Basically, you can modify the steering wheel, see which one fits better, the screens, the cameras, how it will look during daytime and nighttime. You also have Nvidia Drive Concierge built on the Drive 9 software stack. It runs an array of safety and convenience features, including driver and occupant monitoring, digital assistance, and autonomous vehicle visualization. All of that, again, can be done before the car manufacturer starts making the car. This all happens in the design. You can work, you can go inside the car, and of course, Nvidia's Drive Sim is built on Omniverse, so automakers can design vehicles' interiors and retail experiences entirely in the virtual world. And here we have an actual example. So Mercedes-Benz assembles next-gen factories with Nvidia Omniverse. So the premium automaker implements digital-first approach to production, basically showing us that digital twins actually work quite well. So by tapping into Nvidia's AI and metaverse technology, the automaker can create feedback loops to reduce waste, decrease energy consumption, and continuously enhance quality. Now, as we all know, vehicle production is a colossal undertaking that requires thousands of parts and workers moving in harmony. Any supply chain or production issues can lead to costly delays. On top of that, when manufacturers roll out a new model, they must reconfigure the layout of production plants to account for the new vehicle design, as we've seen with Tesla, for example. So this process can take significant portions of the factory offline, pausing manufacturing for existing vehicles. So when you have this digital first, digital twin process, this will certainly help. Now, Mercedes-Benz plans to start production of its new dedicated platform for electric vehicles at its plant at Rastatt, Germany. The site currently manufactures the automaker's A and B class as well as the compact SUV GLA and the all-electric Mercedes-Benz EQA. And last thing, and this is not about the driving, this is more about the robots. So Nvidia advances simulation for intelligent robots with major updates to Isaac Sim. So we've seen this in the past with, for example, the Amazon robotics, but this can be implemented with every other factory or just packaging that needs to be automated. So Isaac Sim's new people simulation capability allows human characters to be added to a warehouse or manufacturing facility and tasked with executing familiar behaviors, like stacking packages or pushing carts. Many of the most common behaviors are already supported, so simulating them is as simple as issuing a command. And just to reinforce the point I made before, so the large and complex robotics ecosystem spans multiple industries from logistics and manufacturing to retail, energy, sustainable farming, and more. And now, of course, this is all nice and well, so while training robots is important, simulating is playing a critical role in training the human operators to work with and program robots. Ready Robotics is teaching programming of industrial robots with Isaac Sim. Universal Robotics is using Isaac Sim for workforce development to train end operators from the cloud. So these were all the announcements I wanted to cover with regards to Nvidia in this video. Obviously, they've talked about the RTX 40. They're going to talk about other things in the coming days as well. So plenty of things to be excited about with regards to Nvidia, and especially when it comes to software. Higher margins for the business. Now, again, I like to repeat myself. Nvidia, if you look at the traditional valuation metrics, it is still expensive, although the stock price has gone down a little bit. It's still quite high, but still a tremendous company. Now, another company that is trading at a very, very low valuation, but that's because, well, growth isn't there anymore. That's Intel. But they came out with an excellent announcement, an exciting announcement, should I say. And that's the fact that, well, obviously the title here is Pure Path. So Intel extends performance leadership with world's fastest mobile processor. So Intel announces the 13th Gen Intel Core mobile processor family led by the launch of the new flagship Intel Core i9 13980HX, the first 24-core processor for a laptop and world's fastest mobile processor. Now, of course, there were plenty of other announcements there as well, and you can go all over the details if you want to, but I do want to focus on a couple of things here. One is the fact that, well, the CCG or the Client Computing Group, and that's where the PC demand was a bit weak. As you can see here, year-over-year revenue was down 17%, operating income down 54%. They say here that the low revenue on PC demand softening primarily in consumer and education, as well as OEM inventory reductions. Now, with this new chip coming out and it being, well, extremely good, that should help CCG in the coming quarters. Now, talking about those new chips, I do want to talk about this article you can find on Tom's Hardware, great website for everything chips related. So he did talk a bit more about the details here in the comparisons with AMD. So first of all, Intel announced 16 new Raptor Lake CPUs spanning its 65-watt mainstream PC chips and 35-watt T-series categories today, broadening its roster of 13th-gen processors that currently dominate our list of best CPUs for gaming and our CPU benchmark hierarchy. Very positive for Intel shareholders. Now, with regards to these type of chips right now, they significantly dial up its peak power consumption to keep the performance edge over AMD's competing Ryzen 7000 processors. But they consume more power and will generate more heat than their predecessors. Now, on the positive side, of course, you need to look at pricing. And not just pricing, but also compatibility. So Intel has also preserved support for DDR4 memory, a key cost-saving measure that gives the company a big advantage over AMD's pricey DDR5 only platforms, while also offering support for DDR5 memory. However, Intel has dropped peak DDR5 speeds down a notch on its lower-end models. Now, if you want to compare, you can see here clearly that Intel is dominating the segment here. And if we scroll a bit to the right, you can see that for memory, AMD is only for DDR5. DDR5 obviously you need to upgrade if you have DDR4, and it is pretty expensive. Now, with regards to pricing, no surprises there. So these have increased by 10% over the debut pricing of the previous gen chips. As a result, you'll pay $54 more for the Core i9 and $49 more for the Core i7 model. As before, you can opt for the graphics-less F-series models to save some cash. And last thing here, Intel said that these chips will be on shelves globally today. So expect some reviews on YouTube or here on Tom's Hardware as well, which will obviously indicate a bit better how it works on the consumer side. Because obviously when Intel or AMD or Nvidia gives us some statistics, sometimes it's in the best case scenarios and maybe not in the real world scenario. And the same thing here for Intel. Of course, there were many other announcements made, and there will be many other announcements being made in the coming days, such as on January 10, the 4th Gen Xeon Scalable or the Sapphire Rapids, and then on January 12, the PC Total Addressable Market and Platform Roadmap Investor Webinar. So if you're interested in that, you can find it on Intel's IR Investors Relations website. So to conclude, and I'll repeat myself again, with regards to Intel, 2023 is to me a do or die year for the company. I know they said 2025 they're going to be back on top, but to be back on top in 2025 you already have to start somewhere. And I do think that 2023 is the year where investors should start to see some improvements. And if we don't see some improvements this year, well, maybe there is a huge issue. Now, with regards to Nvidia, of course, the market values this company at a premium. That's why it's still trading at a very high valuation compared to its peers. But as we've seen, there might be a reason for that. It's not just making great GPUs, or data center chips, etc. It's also making great software. And as I said, software, higher margins when you have subscription as well, way easier to model it and project future revenues. Both companies made exciting announcements. Obviously, do share your thoughts down in the comments below. Are you on the Nvidia camp, Intel one, maybe both, maybe AMD's? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.